Thanks for joining us for another 5-minute murder. We're going to get started here in just a second. I'm going to pick a card. We're going to talk about it for 5 minutes, and then we're going to do that. So, all right. So today we've got a fan favorite. We've got old Eddie Gein today. So I'm going to read the back of his card. So Edward Gein was born on August 27th, 1906. Died on July 26, 1984. He was an American convicted murderer and body snatcher. His crimes gathered widespread notoriety in 1957 after authorities discovered he had exhumed corpses from local graveyards and fashioned trophies and keepsakes from their bones and skin. He also confessed to killing tavern owner Mary Hogan in 1954 and hardware store owner Bernice Worden in 1957. He was initially found unfit to stand trial, but by 1968, he was judged competent to stand trial. He was found guilty of the murder of Worden, but he was found legally insane and was remanded to a psychiatric institution. He died at the institution of respiratory failure on July 26, 1984, at age 77. So there you go. There's old Eddie Gein. So, you know, there's been all kinds of pop culture and movies and books and comic books, all written by, or not written by, but done about the story of Ed Gein. You know, we know that Ed Gein has been the inspiration for movies such as Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as well as, why can't I think of it right now? Oh my goodness, you guys are going to get me for this one. But anyway, there's another main movie. Oh, it's Hannibal Lecter. The character of Buffalo Bill is based on Ed Gein, of course, and it's all little bits and pieces, because in Psycho, Norman Bates' character, his love of his mother is what really is kind of like Ed Gein. Ed Gein loved his mother, even though they had a love-hate relationship. She was very, very strict, very, very Christian. I believe she was probably Catholic. Right, and she had a real problem with women and telling old Eddie that women were bad and that he should not mess around with them. And so, you know, Ed Gein loved his mother. And now he did not have her, as far as I know, she was not mummified upstairs or in the basement or wherever Norman Bates had her, but he did do things because he loved his mother. Matter of fact, when his mother died and she was gone, Ed was left to himself. And he really, really struggled with that. And it kind of like opened up the whole Pandora's box, right? When she wasn't there to take care of him and she wasn't there to make sure that he was doing the right thing and reprimanding him and all that, he really, really struggled. That's when he started grave robbing, when he started trying to create the, he was really trying to recreate his mother. He was making things out of skin to try to bring his mother back. So it's very interesting. Both the women looked similar to his mother. So, you know, it's amazing. So when you look at the Buffalo Bill story, he's, of course, trying to create a woman's suit to, you know, for his own desires. He's starving the women. He's waiting until they're the right shape and size so that he can take their skin. So that was all based, again, on Ed Gein and his relationship and him creating furniture and all kinds of things from human skin. And then with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course, they take it way, way off the rails. It's loosely inspired by Ed Gein, mainly because, you know, they talked about the eating of humans. Now, Ed Gein said that he never ate anyone. So he was not a cannibal. You know, he also never had sex with any of the bodies. It seems like Ed Gein was never interested in having sex with anyone, let alone any of the dead bodies. So it's really fascinating because Ed Gein, once he got to the psychiatric hospital and he lived there, they said that he was a model prisoner, right? He was seemed like a really great, well-adjusted guy. So it's just amazing. This guy who is technically not really a serial killer, only killing 2 people and digging up a whole bunch of bodies. Our classification now, maybe he could be considered a serial killer because he killed 2 with a cooling off period. But during his time, he would have not been classified as a serial killer. He was a killer, but not a serial killer. And so I ended up meeting a lady, and I know we're over the time, but I'm going to finish with this story. I met a lady at a convention that grew up right outside of Plainsfield. Her grandmother, I believe, or great-grandmother, one of the 2, owned one of the bars in Plainsfield, Illinois. And Ed Gein would come in there every single day and sit down. They knew the whole family. She had met Gein several times when she was a kid. And it was just a fascinating story. And in Plainsfield to this day, they don't want anybody talking about Ed Gein. They don't want the story retold. They burned down his barn because they wanted to get rid of any traces of Ed Gein in their society. They felt like it was the most horrible story and did not want to be remembered for that. Of course, with that being said, there's been umpteen movies made about the life of Ed Gein. So, they didn't do a very good job of rooting it out from their society. But there you go. There's Ed Gein from Plainfield, Illinois, teaching us all about, and all of this stuff here is all like Ed Gein related, right? You guys have seen the one where I'm wearing my skin hat, right? That is an homage to old Ed Gein, right? He is, even though he was not prolific in the sense of like Bundy or Gacy or even Dahmer, right? But he's prolific because of what he did and the effect that that's had on our culture. And I think that that's what's important about all of these stories, is remembering that, not glorifying the people, but remembering that, and then allowing that knowledge to allow us to see what's in front of us and to see the people that are around us. I think that's important. I think it's important not to forget the history. All right, I'm going to get off of my soapbox. Thank you guys for joining us for another 8-minute murder. I don't know, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I'm sure that Mary will let me know. Hashtag no timer. As you can see, no timer tonight. So there you go. I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for tuning in for another 5-minute murder, and I will see you at the next one. Мою руку, хочу тебя потерять. Уходи, хватит мучить, устал себя разрушать. Много мыслей, нету сути в голове, сложно пытать. This looks like the job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause I feel so